Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I want to get to this volcano near Grenada, just really to the north of Grenada. I'll get to a map of that in a second. Yesterday I was talking about how we didn't have any really active volcanoes, but we do have one that is underwater. This is Kikumjeni, probably because it has stirred up the water in the past and maybe some ships have gone by and have gotten knocked around. So that's kind of the idea with the name of this volcano. But again, here's Grenada, St. Vincent the Grenadines. In this area here, this is it's called the first exclusion zone. There's an area that's roughly about 1.5 kilometers. You see out from this, about a mile or so, a little bit more in some spots. That, again, it's kind of a heads up where there could be trouble if you're doing any boating, any shipping. And then there's a bigger exclusion zone that's kind of widened out if this thing does get a little bit more active. So again, there's zones of concern. I want to get into some of the shipping, some of the boating in a second, why this is a current hazard right now. Now, what we're seeing here with this one back into Grenada, this one is more of a collision of the Caribbean plate and the South American plate. Now, so we have these plates that are colliding. So right in here, so we have the South American plate here. It's not really the North American one right in here. And that's where we have the collision. And what's going on is here, it's one of those subduction zones. So the South American plate is more dense. So that one's going underneath. It's going underneath the Caribbean plate, and where you have these subduction zones, that's where you could have some volcanic activity. And again, this one is underwater, but it does have a history of causing some problems. Now, you can see it here again, the depth, it's below water, as I was talking about off the bat. Now, the depth of it has changed because the height of the volcano has changed over the years. There was, in the late 1930s, a tsunami. But in the 1980s, after a series of eruptions, some of the facing walls of this broke apart. So it's actually not as tall as it was back in the 1930s when there was a tsunami. So the general thinking is that even if there is an eruption out of this, it is deep enough that there won't be a tsunami. With that said, in my studies of volcanology, it's kind of a wait and see as far as that concerns. There's a lot of factors that play into an underwater volcano, an eruption of one, and what would happen on the surface. So kind of a wait and see on that. But again, it's not as tall as it was about 100 years ago. So that is some slightly better news. Now, I mentioned it's called Kikumjeni because there's a lot of air bubbles around that sometimes with an active volcano underwater that you often get. And I mentioned those exclusion zones, and here's why. Because you have it underwater, so this would be Kikumjeni underwater. You see it here, the gases it emits creates these air bubbles, and that means the water is less dense, which could actually lead to some vessels that sink. And there's been a history of that, especially back in the 1930s and 1940s, of some lost vessels with this. So it's an area that we keep a very close eye on. It is an active area, not seeing any crazy signs of activity. Back in 2017, there was some, but I'm watching it for you. Now, here's Grenada, Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's a front that's moving by. But look at these bigger fronts. The Pacific Northwest of the United States, we're going to see some bigger fronts that move in. This front's bringing some of the extra cloud cover to Florida, the Bahamas, stretching back toward the Yucatan of Mexico, Mexico itself, over toward Belize. We've had some of the scattered showers and storms. And overnight, we swing back toward the Eastern Caribbean. Dominica, for example, we've had some of the rain around. It's been a little more active as expected. Watching that area of rain, so some spotty showers. The rain chance is going to be picking up as expected over the next couple days. So Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, watching out for that. Areas of isolated flooding, that is going to easily be possible. Watching Belize, Honduras, for example, tomorrow. Costa Rica, Panama, not as much, but look at the rain picking up. Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago. This is tomorrow. We are going to have isolated areas of flooding. You see a lot of this rain, some of it lifting north, but still some of that rain around as we work our way into Thursday. And there's the tail end of a front, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We could get a passing shower. Haiti, the rain chance will bump up a little bit later this week. And look at that rain that's still around. As this front passes to the north, what it does is it kind of helps grab some of this moisture and feed it in. So by the end of the week, Trinidad, we're going to see some of those higher rain totals. Keep an eye on the flood potential. Now, 4-day rain totals you see here, Trinidad, for example, example, through Guyana, we're going to have some spots of 100 to 150 millimeters of rain. Could be a little bit more Thursday into Friday as a whole. So again, giving you the heads up that late week in this area, we could have some flooding. I was talking about this last week. It's staying right on track for that. Southeastern Caribbean, Guyana, watching for the possibility of flooding. Suriname, keeping an eye on extreme northeastern sections of Venezuela. Closer look, you see kind of this almost black shading here, and there's almost a little red shading in here. That would be 150 to 175 millimeters of rain for 3 to 4 day rain totals out of this. Again, deeper into the week, really Thursday into Friday, that's when the rain chance will increase even more. Until then, you see Barbados, rain chance picking up on Thursday. Scattered showers and storms. St. Lucia, rain chance is around, scattered about a 50 to 60% chance for the next 3 days. There we go. Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday, rain chance bumps up. It may be higher on Friday, giving you the heads up, the end of the week, watching out for the possibility of flooding. Rain chance will be shooting up through the end of the week in Grenada, 40% chance today in St. Vincent the Grenadines, about a 50 to 60% chance tomorrow, and again on Thursday. Martinique, rain chance will bump up to 50% for tomorrow, and a 50% chance in Dominique. I mentioned we've already had some of the rain around, so keep an eye on some of those scattered showers. Guadeloupe, rain chance 30 to 40%, 10% chance for today, Antigua and Barbuda, a 20% chance for tomorrow. All right, very limited chance today, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. It'll pick up a little bit tomorrow, 30% chance, and a 30% chance in Guilla and St. Bart's. St. Martin, Saba, Statia, rain chance will be up to 30% on Thursday. There's going to be more of that moisture feeding in. And in Puerto Rico, the next couple days, not a lot. Could see a passing shower. Same thing as we get into the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Watching out for some spotty showers in the Dominican Republic. Haiti, mainly dry today, but as I showed you, with the tail end of that front by Thursday, we're up to about a 30% chance. Hanging on to a 30% chance right across Jamaica for us, Cayman Islands, we're looking at a 30% chance, 40 to 50% chance in Belize, scattered showers and storms. I was showing you that same thing as we get back toward the Yucatan. Rain chance about 20% through the Bahamas, batches of clouds. Keep me posted in the comments. Passing shower possible as we swing back through Cuba. 30% chance today, Turks and Caicos, about a 20% chance for tomorrow. 20% chance in Aruba. It will increase slightly, though, over toward Curacao and Bonaire later this week. We could see a couple of the showers from the Trinidad area trying to kind of feed a bit closer. Bermuda, just watching these fronts passing by. We'll get one, especially tomorrow night. We'll see a chance of rain picking up. A couple scattered showers possible in Costa Rica. Northern Venezuela, especially northeastern Venezuela, later this week, the higher chance of rain. Guyana and Suriname, again, a very active pattern as we go through the end of the week, watching out for some flooding. So very active. Southeastern Caribbean, watching that rain surge moving in, right on track. Isolated areas of flooding, staying active around Belize, over toward the Yucatan. My friends in Honduras by Roatan, we'll see some periods of showers, and that front today moving through the Gulf and the Bahamas, bringing some of the extra clouds and bigger fronts back to the north. Of course, last week was very active with earthquakes. I'm monitoring that. I'm monitoring the volcanoes. Thank you for sharing this channel. Have a great rest of your day.